grade John Husted. I mean, I will tell you that in Cuyahoga County, to watch people standing in lines for hours, to have voters not to the fact that he appealed all the way to the United States Supreme Court to take away the last 3 days of early voting doesn't make me comfortable at all, and it doesn't make the voters comfortable at all either. So, but ultimately, the voters will decide to grade John Husted.
The Secretary of State spoke to elections officials earlier this month. He painted a totally different picture, that the election ran smoothly, there weren't any major problems on Election Day, not like Florida, I think is what he said specifically. Why is there such a difference in your account and his account?
Because I was out there among the people, and as you all know, our caucus did a sleep out to vote to make sure, and this was before the final ruling came down, to make sure that people understood that it was important to get out to vote early, because we were not sure whether or not we were going to recover those last 3 days. I was out there among the people wrapped around blocks and blocks in front of Cuyahoga County boards of elections, out there trying to vote. So he may be able to paint a rosy picture, but when I talk to voters, when I look in the eyes of voters standing out there in the cold, grandmother standing out there, baby standing out there, that does not paint a rosy picture. When voters have to stand in line for 2 hours, for 3 hours, for 4 hours, that is not a rosy picture. Something is wrong, and we should come together in this state, and mainly the General Assembly should come together and make sure that that does not happen again in the state of Ohio. I'm absolutely embarrassed that it did happen in the state of Ohio. There was no reason for that to happen in the state of Ohio. And not just taking away the last 3 days, also through directive, taking away the opportunity for local boards of elections to make a decision. Don't you find it strange that in the more Republican-leaning districts, boards of election members got together and decided we would like to increase early voting opportunities for our voters? Then when we get to the more Democratic or urban areas in the state of Ohio, the Republicans on those boards decided to have a different idea about whether or not the voters should have access to the ballot. That should not happen. And the culmination of all of those hiccups caused the confusion that we had in 2012. You ask the residents who live on 35th and Central in the Cleveland area, when they have to look at billboards that remind them that voting is a fraud and that it's targeting poor people, working class people, people of color, whether or not the election runs smoothly. You ask the small business owner in my district who owns a dry cleaner, who made it to the dry cleaners late because her and her husband assumed that they had the same voting opportunities in Cuyahoga County that they had in 2008. And so they went to the Board of Elections only to find out that it was closed. And you know why it was closed? Because the current Secretary of State took away boards of elections opportunity to be able to set hours that are in the best interest of their voters. So it is not a rosy picture.
Senator,